wo angasi ya wo unsa nyoma nyoma obi da e Ghana entin kakra na NDC tena so 30 years 42 years unim de be se okrunum. Do you know now we catch him say sebio me DMPP for atemunti Ghana for ntoma ba omia ono ne kunu ne yere kura yedi no ntumi nka ho asem ono betima de Ghana de bia manfo ka Kelvin de asem we de bia wo ka na wadanse me witnesses kura ho witnesses are they are involved in the act witnesses me witnesses we kura me come witness baako me ntwa ntro say ai Kelvin Taylor say Dr.Sledge boy be not to good no your fraud to good no he's sleeping with Samira on him location in Emma as we speak Sledge na warrior na say I na Kelvin evidence monko busa na Mcbrown mo pe evidence mo pe witnesses mon friend na me nua ba na Mcbrown me am defending the bia nana we dey adanse enti na mabɔ odin chechire bu chire mo dey see time mo nyina mo frɛ meeting na wo tena mu na Sledge tena mu no dey see ni nyina chechire mu chire mo pe evidence say Sledge deep ba wo mi ayere enti mo nti bi da me say munim de ebe ba me say me witness na Mcbrown o me bobo tresom ni nyina na ma de say me dono me penasem onye boni bia ono na me yi ni sama dance for
Exp0sed Honorable Alexander Afenyo Makin egusu achese o explaining no after say Samira Jemfi ba bontin be respond ye.
If today you are insulting Afenyo Makin, using unprintable words on my person, hiring social media people going to sit as studios of
Say company or see we should be careful with the way at social media control niama ewa hasi.
Let's all be careful with how social media operates.
Honorable Alexander Afenyo Makin say enya dia obeka say or jai because a man for criticizing. Exp0sed we update about Alexander Afenyo Makin and Afenyo Samira Jemfi omu issue na say there Afenyo Makin or that one that authentic press news making sure so be like subscribe and share ama fufon so nyabi ahwe.
Let's go into the issue time Afenyo Makin a call good evening Ghana so endra me catch them Ghana for me catch them say the best thing Afenyo Makin obetumi aye and the things he does anytime he fucks up is to play the victim. Me catch them even when he went on Metro TV or the MPP another MPP member Kotinasino the issue nankasa gold board issue Afenyo Makin on tiase. He could not even make a case. He could not explicitly explain the issues for people to understand the reason why he is making that noise and attacking Samira Jemfi. On this is MPP for West Stadium I'm talking point at the moment say I Samira Jemfi there also TSC position onya eni so attack Afenyo Makin and moi Afenyo Makin e hwa ye for me wa Afenyo Makin nen tohwa ogu na ham oya nan wa bo one dam. And Samira Jemfi attacked Afenyo Makin. Samira Jemfi the rabies into a no sorry as Afenyo Makin. Then to her nan into Mamenko attacking and moi. You see, they have moved away from the substance. They have moved away from the report. Afenyo Makin had every opportunity to explain to Ghanaians reports why he is saying gold board and Abobisia Aboka. He could not do it. Into right now, so steady conversation. TV so Samira Jemfi muade ye ma utumi it is not about Samira Jemfi muade. When I give power to somebody na so oye adwuma na me de adwuma nam de ama no wetume deliver Ekufuado one age jimi omuade enche Ekufuado sanko deliver ya nko bi anka de jimi no ana meboa Mahmoud ba omia hona e junkie che no hona e comedian che no sanko deliver ya nke refi comedy no. So you need to understand it is not about Samira Jemfi so na wenyini and I responded to Afenyo Makin. Samira Jemfi spoke on the matter and reacted to that Afenyo Makin statement. And so we study the MPP communicators. Oma track momo, mama obianko ka report in wasem. Right now, what you need to do is go and say Samira Jemfi does not respect. Now, if Samira Jemfi does not respect that, do I care? They may care about this. In the books, everything is intact. That is what I care about. So muadia one problem. You people are foolish. Mwejimi. You cannot make any state. Mumianko tie Afenyo Makin na mencha de muntie no. Endra okọ right wing for no Paul Ademotre. The teenage winger is Paul Ademotre. Okọ tena ho no muntie no. He will that is what every narcissist does. every criminal, every thief. What they do is they cause problems and they will come and cry foul. They will come and play the victim. Okotina Metro and Rano, have you seen any of their communicators speak on Afenyo Makin's the submission on Metro TV? No, because it lacked substance. It lacked substance. They could not pick on the things he was saying. It did not have any evidence. So even at their chin, almost so-called minority leader on the assembly, now they cannot speak around it because the guy is stupid. He doesn't understand the matter. It was a personal thing against Samira Jemfi. In terms of their chin, you could not get any of their people say Afenyo Makin now broke the thing down. Now, per Afenyo Makin statement, they can say it because Afenyo Makin at the end on TSA. So what he's going to do is he's playing the victim. So what's na Andrew Kotina Metro 99% he is a victim. They are insulting me. That guy is an actor. He's a blackmailer and a extortionist. Now Muntie, how confused he sounded. Listen to him.
Let me give you the breakdown. One, the government has given an impression that there is always an economic cost to implementing a policy. I agree that there is always an economic cost. The Gold Board itself, in responding to us, argued that their activities have helped stabilize the city. That is what they said.
Yeah.
That they've sold so much gold and that has helped stabilize the city. Now, by that expression, they are suggesting that Ghanaians should forget about the costs and look at the benefits. But what the IMF is saying, that upon analysis of the whole transaction, the whole policy, the gaps they find, the loopholes, the weakness in the policy itself, okay, makes them conclude that the losses are as a result of some other inefficiencies.
They mentioned some of
It's
them.
there. Yes, that's the list they provided.
Okay, take us through it.
Oh, again, right. So they said exchange rate losses from the spread between Forex Bureau rate paid to purchase gold and the city reference rate used for BOG accounting.
What problem is that?
What they are basically,
So you
the
buy
analysis,
you take the money from BOG in cedis.
right?
Then you buy dollar rates from the gold people.
And then when they sell,
say it's very expensive in the
right.
Okay, go on.
So they are saying that these accounting losses partly reflect valuation effect rather than economic costs. I just want to stay there and make some explanation. You see, they've always argued that there is always an economic cost, which I say I concede. That in implementing any policy,
Like free SHS.
you would incur some cost. But the IMF is indicting that, questioning that position, is indicting them by saying that these losses are not as a result of the economic cost that you want Ghanaians to believe. That yes, you are implementing, but at a cost. They are rather identifying that in the value chain of the transaction, certain challenges that you yourself, by way of your policy, you could not put in place to help you manage the whole program. The next point, the argument of the Gold Board chief executive is to the effect that these losses have nothing to do with Gold Board.
Yes, he makes that point.
Right. And that it's entirely the responsibility of Bank of Ghana. I would address both. One, it is factually inaccurate to argue that the losses are not attributable to Gold Board. Why do I say so? I draw my fortification from the report. In the report, the IMF says that losses accrued on gold trades are a combination of service and asset fees paid to gold. Let me give you the breakdown.
So, more MP before Amutie, no, what you say? More MP before Kwasia for Amutie leader, more, the kind of what you say. At the end of the day, he could not prove that economic cost is a loss. So if you cannot prove that economic cost is a loss, then it means nobody can say Good Board made a loss. On one case from the beginning, or admit it, say what we call economic cost, it's never a loss. But do you know what he's trying to do? Inside the economic cost, he is trying to infuse a loss in there. And that is, in his own wisdom, he thinks, say, because IMF is speaking in general terms about economic loss or cost. Now, if they speak in general about economic cost, it means that whatever was recorded during that activity, that policy implementation, there are things that are major, things that are minor. There are the major problems and minor problems. Now, if the World Bank or IMF identifies that the activities at the end of the day are all economic cost, you cannot go inside and say, because assaying is not part of the economic cost. Selling at this rate is no. It moves together. Now, what he is trying to do is he's trying to isolate things in the report that will suit his argument. Now, if you have agreed, say economic cost is not loss, then you cannot blame the Gold Board for making losses. All that you can look at is, did Gold Board make the loss? No, but they made profit, yes, and that is the profit they made. Now, your question should go to the World Bank, Bank of Ghana. Now, if you want to ask any questions about losses in the economic cost, it is Bank of Ghana that needs to answer the question. But why are you posing your question to the Gold Board? It is because the agenda is that let us try. That is basic. That is what they are trying to do. Anything on one kasa or the brofon area no. But while accept to say there's economic cost in implementing a policy, then it means it is big. You cannot pick one thing and say this is the only thing that is the cost in implementing a policy. There are so many factors or activities that comes together to build an economic cost. Now you cannot go in there and take some out and say wait there and count away count. No, you don't do that. Now if at the end of the day economic cost, does not tell you, say, Gold Board has made a loss, then the economic cost, you need to direct it to the Bank of Ghana. Why have they moved away from the Bank of Ghana? It is all about economic cost. What IMF said. The IMF, they don't sell our gold for us. The negotiation between Gold Board and IMF and Bank of Ghana, it is not the IMF who determines when gold should be bought and when gold should be sold. They don't determine that. They sit behind and watch activities and sometimes they assume. So IMF coming out to tell us, say, economic cost, that you said, no, because oh, and it's what back a Gold Board about now why so wait Jimmy. That is the thing. And it's no casawi no on one call for no could not pick anything to say, okay, we any assembly when they can't because they are trying to run away from Bank of Ghana. Afenyo Makin 10 million. He took the money. And then he will come and say, you didn't attempt. Oh, Obi did him attempt. JH Mensa Obwa. That is what he does. Odi Bonia. No, I question you say, may I qua and go for did him attempt or your cromfort. Now listen to this thief again. They know kind. When
we say losses from a report like that, do we mean the IMF identified X amount of money went into the Gold Board, the domestic purchase program? And X amount of money came out, and the difference is 1.7 billion. Is that what it means?
They have summarized that, in effect, the trading activity in the whole transaction value chain, and they've listed all the fees and charges, I all of it combined to be.
But their starting point is a certain amount of money that was committed to this. Is that not their starting point?
No, that's not what they've said. They have rather given you a total amount of losses incurred, which amounted to $1.7 billion, equivalent of 22 billion.
What are they subtracting from to get the losses?
Obviously, if they look at your transaction.
So they see how much money you put in it.
And yes.
And how much money you got out of it. And the difference is
what the losses that they have.
Okay, correct. I get that. So there's a clear loss on, you took 100 cedis into this project. You are bringing back 70 cedis. So there's a 30 cedi loss. Now, that loss, you are saying that as a minority, you concede that a policy may have losses. But this particular loss, you are saying that has been attributed to I don't think dereliction of duty, but attributed to certain things that were not
It's policy failure.
Policy failure.
Because
so these losses are attributed largely to policy failure.
Not largely. If you say largely, it means that some.
Yeah, because you're conceding that there will be some
attributable
losses.
to policy failure.
Okay, and they are
that
pointing
is exactly,
to those places.
Yes. So let's read it again.
Right,
because sometimes
now we can go.
Right. So let's read it again. These accounting losses partly reflect valuation effect rather than economic costs. Now let me take you back.
Interrogate that valuation effect rather than.
Yes. Okay. So it's that line is giving effect to the explanatory notes that precedes it.
Yeah.
So I will go back to the point again. It says in 2025, the significant scaling up of the domestic gold purchase operations led to losses of over $1.7 billion, equivalent of 1.5% of GDP, almost entirely related to the gold for reserve purchases. All right? This amounted to a loss of 17% of the value of the gold sold by BOG. Then it goes further. Losses accrued on gold trades are a combination of service and asset fees paid to Gold Board. Let me stop there. And
Gold Board has been mentioned.
It's there. It's not me.
As being directly responsible for some parts of the loss.
With respect, Paul, it is not a minority. It is not Afenyo Makin. It's not Afenyo Makin targeting somebody. It is not Afenyo Makin with respect who...
You see, the funny thing, Paul is leading. He's giving him the lead. He still cannot understand. MPP for nakasa mutini kromontiasie. And this report was written by some 22-year-old college kid who works as an intern at the IMF. A whole minority leader is sitting on TV trying to understand that English. Yeah, Jimmy. You said gold sold by Bank of Ghana. Bank of Ghana did business with who? With Gold Board. Who raised the capital for Gold Board to do that business? Bank of Ghana. Who is the primary fundraiser? Bank of Ghana. Who sold the gold? Bank of Ghana. Who at the end of the day is the brain behind go buy and sell and bring my Bank of Ghana. So why are we sitting here making it look like Bank of Ghana no onyeshi na yenim say Gold Board aboka? The question here is you have accepted that there's something called economic cost. How can Gold Board do business with Bank of Ghana and Gold Board ever for Bank of Ghana CKD? Now Bank of Ghana and Ankasa will keep quiet about it. Why are you not questioning Bank of Ghana? Because Bank of Ghana to their books are going to be checked. So if Bank of Ghana, their books are going to be checked, what stops them from telling you Gold Board stole their money or messed their money up? What is stopping Bank of Ghana? Because there's nothing there. And you yourself, you have admitted that there's something called economic cost. You were saying that you should not limit yourself. Economic cost is broad. So it does not matter how you define it. Send your bechirichirim. Yakase economic cost, it covers a whole lot of things. It is yakase, you mention Gold Board ding, yakase a saying, and there. It all falls under economic cost. It's not because they mention Gold Board, because Bank of Ghana does not assay gold. They don't do assaying. It is Gold Board that does assaying. It is yakase cost way and aba. If you are talking about Bank of Ghana or this Gold Board, finished. Small boy be already by 25 or your intern. World IMF NHL report to win and kwasiafo. There are two foolish men sitting there or say we didn't attempt. Then that is what he does. Afenyo Makin, he's dumb. And your noise no make. When Samira makes a submission, na Afenyo Makin make a submission. Saturday or tina we me. Sanka Samira na to cheche banka Ghana libiati asiye. He's dumb. He doesn't want to understand the self. Wabong. Now here, this is where he starts to play the victim. Now, watch this.
Today you are insulting Afenyo Makin, using unprintable words on my person, hiring social media people going to sit at studios of FM station, TV stations, use vulgar language. The very thing that if you give them a snap, a Bible, a Quran to swear whether it is true, they cannot. They are saying it for politics. I won't question you. I won't say anything. I won't sue you. But bear in mind that which you cherish melts. That one day, that is why in a noble society, that I'm familiar with, it says that though distinctions amongst men exist to preserve subordination, ought no eminence of situation make you forget that we are brothers. For he who is placed at the lowest ebb of fortune's wheel is equally entitled to our regard. As a time will come, the wisest of men knows not how soon, when all distinctions, save those of goodness and mercy, a virtue, shall cease, and death, the grand level of all human, I lost the line, shall reduce us to the same state. Now, today you are in office. If yesterday I misconducted myself and disrespected my friends in opposition, I wouldn't have the moral authority to call and say, bro, you are wrong. I honored them. I respected them. They know. Sometimes they can't say it publicly, but they know that Afenyo Makin respects brotherhood. I respect a code. I don't dishonor friendship. We are doing politics. I'm the minority leader. I will do my work. But in so doing, I have due regard for your office. So if you think today you have the power, abuse me, it's okay. I won't go to court. I won't say anything bad. You can say that, oh, you undermining me and say whatever. J.H. Mensah went through worse. Che Mensah Bones went through worse. My brother are too forcing. Sometimes, I know we are mobile. Minority leader. It's not an easy office. Minority leader. Sometimes you can be lonely.
Let me tell you something. If you have done communication for long, he was just sending a message to Sami Jemfi and all the people who were talking about the crimes he has committed. He was just telling them ceasefire. That is all that he was doing there. Afenyo Makin blackmailed, tried to blackmail Sami Jemfi. They're not all your oku to a Smithsonian and Freemason. He was just sending a message across. You are not going to sue. Somebody say you are a blackmailer. Somebody say you are an extortionist. A minority leader in parliament, you are saying you are not going to sue. You are a criminal. All that he was doing, they're not all he was basically sending a message, I've given up. Please, enough. I don't want the rest to come out. That is what he was doing. If you don't understand communication, it's an SOS call. Because the people are within it, this is not what they paid to watch. This is not what they were expecting from him. To go on TV and cry foul and say, Nipana, omoka sansemwin, omo shnapa, omuntmin budia. But one kasa obetume budia. Wo Afenyo Makin, you have murdered sleep and you will sleep no more. You have murdered sleep because you are greedy. And you are never going to sleep any longer. You will never sleep again. What he was doing there, he was just telling Sami Jemfi them, said, the people he extorted money from, that I am sorry. Oh, today, you won't sue. Oh, today, beat me. Oh, today, why are you doing this? You have respected friendship and brotherhood. You. You respect friendship and brotherhood. You up in your market. Whoa. A traitor like you. You sit on Paul's show. That is why he was quick to go on Metro TV. Good evening, Ghana. So why you communication? And that is what he was doing. I won't say anything again. Some of your people are coming after me. I don't want anybody to do more expose on me. Whatever happened, let it stay there. I won't sue. They are saying you are an extortionist. You are a liar. You won't sue. They are saying that you are a thief. You blackmailed people. Oh, I won't sue. Today you are insulting me. When they die, no, he's calling for help. He is surrendering. He is surrendering. He is telling him, I am sorry. I bit more than I can chew. That is what he was doing there. But when you're smarter, you will never know. He went there to send a message that I know now you know what I did. I know that you are not a small fish. What I did, please. So Afenyo Makin was indirectly apologizing to Sami Jemfi on national television. He didn't want to do it because of his arrogance. He wanted to do it in a way MPP in Kwasi Afono will not understand. Listen to him very well. He was basically begging.
Today you are insulting Afenyo Makin, using unprintable words on my person, hiring social media people going to sit at studios of FM stations, TV stations, use vulgar language. The very thing that if you give them a snap, a Bible, a Quran to swear, whether it is true, they cannot. They are saying it for politics. I won't question you. I won't say anything. I won't sue you. But bear in mind that that which you cherish melts. That one day, that is why in a noble society that I'm familiar with, it says that though distinctions amongst men exist to preserve subordination, ought no eminence of situation make you forget that we are brothers. For he who is placed at the lowest ebb of fortune's wheel is equally entitled to our regard. As a time will come, the wisest of men knows not how soon, when all distinctions, save those of goodness and mercy, a virtue, shall cease, and death, the grand level of all human, I lost the line, shall reduce us to the same state. Now, today you are in office. If yesterday I misconducted myself and disrespected my friends in opposition, I wouldn't have the moral authority to call and say, bro, you are wrong. I honored them. I respected them. They know. Sometimes they can't say it publicly, but they know that Afenyo Makin respects brotherhood. I respect
Abuofunu, you respect brotherhood. You are a liar. I want you to sue. Onye ni papa pebia or politics mi. Openro. Sakwawe. Openro namonro so. If you don't agree with him, obey withdraw kunwa to action. Openro. This guy, or a very bad person. What he was doing there, he was telling Samira Jemfi, I am sorry. That is what he was doing. So I won't take kasa, now won't take communication, you will never understand what he was doing. He was basically saying that unya nyakura unya no na mafumo kura enya bontene na wo seketema medaso na obi abomi bi. Minim said ya meyeye no enye. Na emom na menjene se wo beye de waye no efri se kai wachi na unya ni wunya. That is what he was saying. Meme literature. I did communication. I understand what he's doing. He's sending a message across. With Jimmy too. He's just sending a message across. And then that for me, there me ye nya krampo asame, me that for me, memma what mentamfo entieti aminkume. Na wunua nya wunua no. Sama fumu kra na menim se bedrum pempenso we a obejai esem ni nyina gu abontenema nipa egu menim ase. Na kai wuchi ebia nne de si ya wenya ho abotira o ma yetietia me no ochena ebi betume esi na ebia me na me de me nan besi wo kon so na wo so tie ase se odo a me wo ma nipa nti me bu nipa. That is what he was doing there. Or pastor me chew na deja abeto abontene. This is communication. You might not understand, but I'll send a message. Ya chino wako gisika ya gune ni ase. Wa ferry or peso pepa ne tu obedwum na enso peso be yi ne to ho. That is what Afenyo Makin was doing. Listen to his lines very well. Way on kanokre.
Today you are insulting Afenyo Makin, using unprintable words on my person, hiring social media people going to sit at studios of FM stations, TV stations, use vulgar language. The very thing that if you give them a snap, a Bible, a Quran to swear, whether it is true, they cannot. They are saying it for politics. I won't question you. I won't say anything. I won't sue you. But bear in mind that that which you cherish melts. That one day, that is why in a noble society that I'm familiar with, it says that though distinctions amongst men exist to preserve subordination, ought no eminence of situation make you forget that we are brothers. For he who is placed at the lowest ebb of fortune's wheel is equally entitled to our regard.
Or say nipa or that forma yeti anaswa sebyo yajin se wo wu no ono so krampo no debi endaso ho sa na wo ka kire same de wo ma ma yamin wagu menim asi ye nuanom na menim se beduru hairi o so tia se nne me konsi forma me nyo bia me ndo nipa na emom kai wunchi ade a eda wakoma so no won satumi hwere Na emo mebedi bi nsemu a aya na wakai de bi. If you say nipa ye pre a asase ase ene ebeko. That is the grammar he was telling you. Or patch or kind of numu asem. Unim communication. Why do you know that is what he was doing. He's a liar.
Yeah, anyway, just an update about Alexander Afenyo Makin and Afenyo, you know, Sami Jimfi on seminar to social media. Aha, authentic click sure. So like you best as Korea no share. I'm a full phone saying you be